We all know factorial of a number. It's a very easy thing to compute. So fact of 5 is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. We all have been doing it from our school days, right? Which is actually 120. So what is factorial? Let us take a look at it. Factorial of a number, let's say 6, is 6 times, 5 times, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times 1. Do you observe that fact of 6 is 6 times fact of 5? What do I mean? I mean factorial of a number one can compute by computing factorial of a number 1 less than that multiplied by the number. So fact of n is n times fact of n minus 1. So let me think of how one could write a program to compute factorial of a number. That's going to be very easy. If the input is n, I will just write a for loop, and then for I equals 1 to n, I will say answer is answer times I, initializing answer to 1. Pretty straightforward, right? The best thing about computer programming is that one can do the same thing in several ways. I told you how to compute factorial of a number. I will now tell you how to compute it in a way that is slightly complicated, but I am going to introduce to you all a very important programming idea called the recursion. Remember how we defined factorial of a number? We observed that factorial of n is n times factorial n minus 1. So how about this? I define fact function, and then all that I do is return n times fact of n minus 1 whenever n is greater than 1. If n is equal to 1, I simply return 1, and that's what this program is doing. Now wait a minute. I'm defining a function and calling a function's name within the same function. Isn't that weird? There's actually nothing weird about it. Every programming language gives you this facility, the facility of calling the same function within itself, and Python also gives you this facility. As you can see, this program will simply give you factorial of a number. Try to understand what is happening here. You are computing a function by giving in as an input a number, and the function is calling another instance of itself. I am sure my terminologies are sounding complicated, but you will get used to it as you see more examples on recursion.